What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. It's your ordinary car guy here. We're about to start on another improvement to the old Dodge Ram 1500, also known as the Banana. As you can tell by this color, the Banana is about to get a much needed upgrade. We're about to upgrade the speakers. The one on the driver's side in the front has been muffled and really breaking up a lot over the past 3 or 4 months, and it's just going to be a huge quality of life improvement. Just be able to get that out of there and get something new in, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get started. Now, getting started, the first thing we need to do is take off the door panel, and to do that we have 4 Phillips screws that we need to take out. First one being right here. We have one in the middle of the door handle, and then we have 2 down at the bottom of the door. So we can take those out, and then we have a 10mm that is holding in the door handle that we'll need to take out. So we'll just get a little ratchet with an extension on it that goes right inside the door handle to take that off. And after we pull that off, we can lift the door panel up, and then all we need to do is unattach the wires that are connecting the switches. So we'll get to it. All right, now we have all the fasteners out. We can lift the door panel off. So just lift it straight up and over the door lock there. And now we have the 2 wires, or the 2 connectors here going into the switches. So you'll just need to pull these off without pulling the switches out. Those 2. Now I have the door panel off, and we're ready to tackle the speaker. All that's left to do here is to unscrew the speaker. So these right here have screws at the 4 corners. So I'll just simply undo those. Then once we get the speaker loose, we just have one more thing to disconnect, and then it will be free. So you can see it's kind of falling out there. So now let's pull this out, and then we just have this wire right here to disconnect. So we got this disconnected, got our holes open, and our speaker is out. So there we go. Now you get to put the new one in. All right, now that we have the speaker out, we're going to take the new one, and before we wire anything up, we're just going to put it in, do a test fit, see how it fits. So we'll just take it in. So it looks like this new speaker is a little bit wider than the old one. It doesn't quite fit the hole. Kind of looks like these arches right here hit. You can see there's a little bit of mark on there from setting it in. So it looks like those arches hit. It also looks like just this lip in general is wide all the way around. But looking at our screw holes here, they do all line up, so that's good. So it looks like we may just need to trim around the edge of this hole just to make it wide enough to slide in there. So, but one thing we can do, if you're not exactly sure of how your speaker fits or where it's hitting, is take some chalk for like a chalk line, or even whiteboard chalk, and just rub it on the edges of the speaker. And then when you set it in, you can kind of fiddle it around a little bit, and you should be able to see the residue on the edge of the hole where you're putting or where it's hitting, so that'll give you a better idea of how how you need to trim, so you're not just going at it blind. But it really looks like this is all the way around that we need to trim. So just to make sure, I'm going to grab a tape measure and just pull off some numbers and take a look at that. So it looks like here, I'm just going from the widest edge to edge. Looks like we're about 8.5, 8 3/4 inches. And we'll just go edge to edge from here. Yeah, it's about 8, so probably need to take off a 1/4 inch all the way around, which looking at it, it looks like it's just the crease, this crease in the door. If we trim this all the way around and stay right on the inside of the holes, we should be fine. So now what we'll do next is, I guess we'll just take a Sharpie and just draw a line around here and use an angle grinder to, really cut this out. And we'll just have to be careful of the wires here and the regulator for the window. So I'll go ahead, take a Sharpie, draw it up, and then we'll get to cutting. All right, so now we'll just take the Sharpie and we're just gonna mark around the edge here. Just try to get right on the crease. And it doesn't have to be a perfect line, because with the blade on the angle grinder, we aren't going to be able to cut a perfectly round hole anyways. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then, so we'll just kind of take our finger and feel around just to get an idea of what's behind here. So we know we have to kind of be careful of this regulator, and then I'll also detach the wire going to it and just tuck it back in there so it's out of the way. And then also try to move these cords out as much as possible, just so we try not to hit them and so they're not in the way of us cutting. So now we'll get the angle grinder with the cutoff wheel on it and get at it. So here is the final cut. It looks like we're clearing most of the way around. So I'm gonna just take some channel locks, grab it, and see where we're loose. It's like right there is the only bit. So get it out. We'll break that off. There we go. Now we have our new hole. Still have clearance and room for the screws. That wasn't too hard. So now I'm just going to put the grinding wheel on the angle grinder and clean up the edges here. And then what I can't get to, I'm just going to take a metal file and file it down. So once that is done, then I will bring you back here and we'll see how the speaker fits. Now that we got the edge of the hole ground down and smoothed out with the metal file, we're going to take our speaker and do a little test fit here just to see how everything lines up. And look at that. So we can see it's sitting flush all the way around. So it looks like our hole is big enough, so that should be perfect. So now what we'll do is, unfortunately, this is not plug and play like the OEM speaker is. So we will have to cut this speaker wire and then rewire it. So we'll just hardwire it in. So now we'll go into that. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the old speaker. I'm just going to plug it back in. So we want to take note of which wire goes where, so that when we rewire it with the new speaker, we can kind of get an idea. So we have this blue stripe going to the right side of the speaker, or this side of the speaker, and then the green one with the yellow stripe going to the left side. So we just want to get an idea and remember where those are so that we can rewire it. So now that we got them separated and know which way they're going, we'll just take our wire cutters and goodbye. Now the new speakers came with wire and connectors for them, so we'll get that, cut off a portion of it, and start connecting this back up. All right, so I went ahead and got the wire strip. Figure you can figure that out. So now we have these lined up. So this white one is going to be our left side. So we'll just cross these up, twist these together. And I'm going to bend these back and grab a piece of tape. Done. So we got that one taped, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now we got those two together. We'll take both wires together. All right, now that we have these taped together, we're ready to reconnect the window regulator. So reconnect that. Then now we're ready to get the speaker. So now with the speaker, on this one, as you can see here, we have a big side and a small side. So that is why we wanted to understand which way these wires went, so we can match up the correct sides. So we'll just grab this, slide the big side on. Other side. Set it up. And we'll just tighten them all the way down. Now I'm just going to give it a quick test just to make sure it does work. And that is glorious. That's a great sound. So now that we got it in, we're ready to put the door panel back on. So it's just going to be the same process in reverse order. So we'll need to pull the door panel back up, reconnect the switches, and then set it on. The hardest thing to do really is get these bottom clips. There's clips in the bottom of the door here. So these guys that slide in to these holes. So that's really the hardest thing to do. Fish the lock through and then reattach everything. So I'll get to that and then we'll pick it up at the end when everything's together. All right guys, so we got the door panel back on. Now what's left to do is to fasten it back. So it's a little difficult trying to get these fastener or the clips for the door back in. So, but just to make sure we got this through, and then you can check. Easiest thing is to check at the bottom of the door and to make sure your holes line up. So now that we have those lined up, we can grab our screwdriver, our screws, throw them back in. And on the door handle, you just kind of got to do it by feel because you can't really see where the hole is. We'll just throw it on there, get it lined up as best we can. And that works. And that's it. We got the new speaker in. I'm really excited to get around driving, just listen to it without the muffled, cracking noise of the old one. So these OEM speakers have been in for a long time. This is a 2005, so it's been 14 years on those old speakers. So it was due for an upgrade. I'm excited to have these in. Looking forward to it. So don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to see more. And thanks for watching. We'll see you later.